Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. This is for you, Coach. Just what you can say about your 5 seasons at Boston College, what your takeaways have been, and kind of, like that look in the mirror, what you're seeing, what you've seen over the last 5 years as you step forward.
I think every year is different. I think you build an excitement for each year, and without question, this group that we've assembled this year is just so much fun to be around because they're just so connected. There's so much energy in our gym, and so to watch the culture of our program grow and grow, even though we've lost some really key guys along the way, whether it be to NBA or to injury, just the culmination of watching that is special, and that's what building a program is all about.
We're going to go to our left, second row. Nick, if you would, pull the microphone a little bit closer to you, please. Thank you.
Bob Holliday, WRL.com, following up on that question, Coach, you did, as you said, lose some talented players, but you've got a number of them back, including these two. Stephon Mitchell is a top rebounder. What do you see as the biggest potential areas for improvement this year for Boston College?
I think it's a really good question. I think what happens when you lose a great scorer, and Kai was a guy that could create a lot of shots for himself and just hit big shots. I think the team has to now absorb those points. And I think the best way to do it is and for us, one of our areas of growth that we're trying to see is scoring from defense. Just creating more havoc on the court, creating more transition opportunities where everybody can get involved, and everybody can get excited. And I think that's really where our main focus has been is where can we grow collectively to help our team grow long term. And I think our players have really been bought in from the minute one of it, and I think it's a mentality that's going to carry us through the year.
Let's go back to Dan to the right in the first row.
And Derek and Nick, this is for each of you, but different questions. Derek, just what you can say made BC the right fit for you when you were in the transfer portal trying to figure out where the best place was to go. And then Nick, just navigating through adversity, what you can say about going through those injuries and what that taught you.
I'll go first. I think, just from the first time I talked to Coach first and, just the staff, I felt extremely comfortable. And that was a huge thing for me, is just, being able to be comfortable. It's a great education, great school, great style of play. So those things all went into it, but I think just the relationship I built with Coach from, our first conversation was better than I feel like, any other, coaches that I was talking to at the time. So I feel like from day one, I kind of in the back of my head knew that I would be at BC.
Also, just to clarify, do we talk about my injuries or just a team injury? I mean, I missed a few games because of the injuries, but I came back like normally. I didn't have any like breakdowns after it, so it was okay for me to play and continue.
Let's go front row to our left.
Doug Dowdy from the Roanoke Times. Coach Christian, talk about the pluses and minuses of the 20-game conference schedule.
It's a great question. Nobody's played it, so I don't know yet, to be honest with you. I think it's going to all play out. I think there's some interesting challenges, especially starting the ACC with a conference game in terms of what you need to do to prepare for such an interesting battle that usually comes down to a couple minutes here or there. And long term, is the 20 games going to benefit us getting some more teams into the tournament? Or is the committee, which none of us are on, going to look at your non-conference choice of 8 games? Because these 20 games that we're about to play, they're taxing physically, they're taxing mentally. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out long term. But for the kids, they're excited, man. They want to play ACC games. Your fans want to see more ACC games. People want to view it. So it's going to play out over time. But I'm interested to see, how the season is, because I know playing 18 games is demanding. And it's tough, and it wears people down physically. And so now adding 2 more of those, hopefully will help our league grow long term and in our situation, get more teams in the tournament.
The next 2 questions will come from your left in the second row, first to Bob, and then at the end of the row.
Bob Holliday again. Nick, you shot better than 52% last year. You were the highest returning shooter in the ACC by far. I think the next highest is like 45%. What makes you so accurate?
I mean, I don't think I'm as accurate as like the good plays that other players make for me. You know, I had a lot of like wide open layups, especially against Minnesota last year when I went 100%. I mean, I think that game helped me a lot, like fix my averages. But I also tried to make a lot of like good shots and take good shots, so that's why I have such a high like percentage.
We'll stay on that side, right here at the end of the row.
Coach Christian, Brian Oliver, Raycom Sports. Can you touch on Nick's development over the years and how important it is for him to continue for your team's success this season?
Well, first and foremost, I'm probably more happy and pleased with his developments off the court as a person, and just watching him grow and mature through good and bad, the way he handles situations now, even frustrations. It's frustrating to be a college basketball player. You're not going to be great every night. You're not going to be great every day. So watching him handle those situations and develop relationships with myself, with his teammates, with the staff, has really been beneficial for me to watch. And I think it goes hand in hand with how he's improved as a player. I think it wasn't any particular skill or any particular difference in his work ethic. It was a maturity. And I think watching that, and for him to continue that, now he's got to find a consistency, because I think the first thing I think he would tell you, and I'm telling you, is that there were moments he was fantastic, and there was moments that he needed to be more consistent with a lot of different things. And I think he's really willing and trying to do that. So if you do that, then your senior year becomes a special memory for you, and that's what I want for him and Derek and Jared, our three seniors. I want this to be a special memory for them, and it should be, because they've really worked hard at creating something I think is going to be pretty special.
Back to Dan in the first row to the right.
For Nick and Derek, just what you can say about this year's team, how you would define it, kind of describe it heading into the season for BC.
I'll start. I think our team, a huge thing, we compete, and that's the most important thing. Playing in the ACC is such a competitive league, and our team competes every day. We work extremely hard, and we play, you know, as hard as we can every day in practice. And I think seeing that shows, how, I think, just how well of a season we're going to have. If your guys compete every day through thick and thin, I think, you'll be able to win a lot of games.
I mean, he said it pretty much all, but yeah, I would say we have a great energy this year, and we have a size to our team, so we're going to use it to our advantage to play good and also like to make the right plays and help us win.
Back to Brian in the second row to your left.
Coach, can you talk about over the years, the player development for the guys that have come through your program have been an integral part. Can you talk about the guys that you have returning and the new guys, their development over this offseason and how it's going to play for you guys this year?
Yeah, player development for us is paramount. It's a big part of how we recruit them, and it's built into every practice. It's built into every day through a bunch of different ways, through on-court, through being part of our practice, skill development throughout practice the whole year long. We don't just do it in the fall. And then a ton of video one-on-one. So I try to watch as much one-on-one film with guys as I can watch, so they have a complete understanding of what they need to do. They get clips every single day on what it is we think they need to do to develop, and their ability to buy into that. It's never coaching. It's all about the players. I can send you a million clips. If you're not bought into trying to get better, you're not bought into trying to develop and see how that's going to help us grow, and by us growing, you're going to get better, then you're going to have some issues with it. But we have a really bought-in group here, and the guys that you're talking about, the development of Nico, the development of a Stephon Mitchell, who basically stayed at BC all summer. He's probably shot more balls than anybody I've ever seen, because he wants to develop and get better, and I think that's the key to success, man. It's got to start with them, and then we've got to like water it like a plant. And that's kind of what we pride ourselves on. It's what our whole program is about, and our young players have bought into it right away.
To our right in the second row.
Frank Maloney, Who's Talking 910 The Fan. Coach, I haven't heard you talk about the 20-game schedule. How do you think your team's going to adjust to playing 20 ACC games, and how are you going to adjust?
It won't really, from my perspective, every game is important, so it'll make a difference for me. But in terms of these guys, I think that's why you have older guys who've been through it. I think that the older guys, Derek's played a ton of games, Nico has played, Stephon Mitchell is a junior, but he's played so many minutes, he's a senior. Those guys have to get the guys through the tough times. Every team goes through a stretch where it's tough. somebody's not playing well. And to get them through those moments, experience not just my voice, but their voice. So, I'm hoping as the year goes on, my voice and voice has to be less, and their voice and voice has to be louder. If we get that, then we're getting the leadership that we need.
Derek, you get the last question from the podium. This journey of yours, what have you learned about basketball through your time? And most importantly, what have you learned about life during this journey?
I feel like I've learned so much about, both. I think, life gives you a lot of up and downs, and so does the game. So it's just about, it's your attitude and how you approach it. And I feel like I've learned that, as my time as an athlete and just a man, I feel like, I've learned that a lot. And, I love this game, basketball, so much. And I feel like every year I fell in love with it even more. So I'm just excited to be able to compete with my team and take this as far as I can.
Boston College, good luck this season.
Thank you.